What's up, Cancer? This is Soul from Intuitive Tarot, here to look at your week ahead starting September 1st, 2025. Cancer, I hope all is well. Welcome any new subscribers to my channel. I appreciate you. The deck I am using will be listed in the description box. And before I begin the messages for you, Cancer, any Cancer out there who may be celebrating Labor Day, I want to wish you a very happy and safe Labor Day celebration. All right, we're just going to cleanse the energy here from Dawn Gemini's messages from for the week. And we shall begin to see what is the energy approach for Cancer this upcoming week. What is coming up for my fellow crabs this week? What do we have to look forward to energetically? And as of yet, I have not heard anything more about the job that I had interviewed for Cancer. I guess they're either still interviewing or trying to come to some sort of decision. So I don't know, but either way, I will let you know. Okay, just to see how things played out along with the cards for messages last week and the week prior. So let's see what's happening for us this week, though, energetically. Energies for Cancer. All right, here we go, Cancer. Let's cut the deck and begin the messages to see what is the energy that we are going to be faced with. Starting off, we're going to start with the first card for us, and we have the Eight of Wands. Again, there's that great news coming in very, very fast that may put a smile on your face. I hope it is the type of energy that puts a smile on my face, Cancer, because that's what that Eight of Wands represents. Fast energy, always an element or a touch of surprise. It's the card of communication. So great communication, effective communication, Cancer. Any communication that you have to do involving others this week will be well received by them. Any communications coming to us, will be well received. So, Eight of Wands could also be for some crabs who are, traveling for the holiday, maybe a 3-day or 4-day weekend for Labor Day. You're going to be safe to and from. Again, I always say with that Eight of Wands, and not to, to make this reading turn into something personal for myself, I always say, and have said in the past and will continue to say in the future, that there could be that phone call that you're waiting for that puts a smile on your face. Something that comes through the mail, whether it's a letter or packages. It can include anything that you may have ordered online. Those packages and that mail is coming. Okay. You could receive some, news through text messages that puts a smile on your face. All right, so that is the Eight of Wands. We're starting off very good. Let's keep it going. Up next now we have the Two of Wands, which is what I've been waiting for, who you've been waiting for. This is my only timing card, and I always attach 2 days, 2-week period of time to this energy here, right? But because it follows the Eight of Wands, which is the card of movement, it already propels the energy of that Two of Wands. So again, what you're waiting for, who you're waiting for may come sooner than expected. Anything that was slow moving or stagnant that may involve a relationship for some of you, could be a project, could be an assignment, could be almost anything. Now it gets that boost because of the Eight of Wands. It comes after the projects. Any ideals that you may have had in the past, you move forward with those ideas. All right, so that's the Two of Wands. Following the Two of Wands, Cancer, now we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is that energy that I always read that you could have cut somebody off. And it could have been, that you distance yourself from family, you distance yourself from co-workers, you distance yourself from platonic friends. Definitely will represent the energy of ex-romantic partners. Now, of course, this energy here doesn't necessarily mean that you're still dealing with them. It's just, it could be a possible or potential reapproach of these people coming back to cause more conflicting energies for you, right? So don't allow that energy, don't entertain that type of energy if that is what happens or occurs for you this week. If it is not that, it could be material things, Cancer, things that, you know, I'm forever losing shit that we've, you know, put down, forgotten about where we put it, and you know, you either rediscover it or, you know, it resurfaces for you. So that would be the Seven of Swords. Following the Seven of Swords here for you, Cancer, we have the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is sadness and disappointment. Now, how I'm going to read this? Sadness or disappointment mirroring over there to that Eight of Wands still would be any types of, and I don't regard the Five of Cups, I don't place it up real high. It could be how we go about ourselves in terms of our own moods. Cancers, you know, you're famous for having, you know, bouts of mood swings, right? So it's just when that happens, it doesn't mean that someone or something has precipitated that energy. It's just chemical shift in the brain. But it could also be, I'm sorry, the energy that is involving a child of yours, a romantic partner. It could be someone else in the family. It could be a friend. It could be a coworker. All right, but don't place too much emphasis on the Five of Cups in terms of sadness or disappointment. Following the Five of Cups in Cancer, we have the Temperance card. Temperance card comes in to restore, rebalance, brings back that energy of peace, love. It could be a week for some crabs that I'm reading for that you just focus your energy on yourself and taking care of yourself, loving yourself, nurturing yourself. Well, could be that you spend some time outdoors and still enjoy Mother Nature and God's beauty. Temperance also represents relationships of all kinds. So we have the Temperance major arcana on our side this week in terms of any restoring a balance or restoring of peace. Up next, now we have the major arcana, the Fearless. Fearless is the Fool, new beginnings, okay, or some aspect of a new beginning. Anything that Cancer you may have wanted to step forward in or take that leap of faith, go ahead and do it. The Fearless card or the Fool usually comes in to say this is the most optimal time for you to move forward in terms of any types of exchanges of a new beginning. Now, for other Cancers, if you don't have anything planned or lined up, this still would represent a new beginning opening up or occurring for you in some area. All right, seeking some sort of excitement or fun also too represents the Fool. Up next after Fearless, we have the major arcana, the Moon. Okay, so the major arcana, the Moon, where definitely we have to make sure that we're putting a check on our emotions, but also two secrets are revealed, things that were kept or hidden from you come to the light. There is a cycle of energy that's ending for us, Cancer. A new cycle is about to approach us. Okay, I feel that this just is representing emotional changes, but not emotional changes on a negative aspect, because I also read the Moon as, you know, once it's placed in your spread, doesn't matter where it shows up in your spread, it's very heavy when it comes to that an emotion regarding any types of, you know, devotion and love being expressed to you by those people that you are closest to. Again, family members, friends, romantic partners, could be co-workers. Okay, that is the major arcana, the Moon. Pay attention to your intuition. That's also another aspect of the Moon. You always have to go with the gut instincts on the first go around because it's usually the correct answer. Inner voices, you must distinguish between the inner voices being angelic voice guides, or if it's your ego. Sometimes the ego will come in and try to trick us, you know. So make sure that you can decipher. And what I mean by that is Cancer, basically, when you hear, when you're trying to, you know, fine tune into your intuition and maybe something, you know, comes up and you go for a bout of not trusting what you feel. Usually the guidance that comes in, the inner voices that you hear, is sent through the energy of love, okay? And it will always be that way. It will be something that is constant. When it comes to our ego, the ego, if there's some sort of back and forth energy going on, saying, for example, and myself, I'll use myself again as, as an example in terms of a situation and expressing a message. Oh, I'm not going to get that job, that I interviewed for. That's your ego. That's your ego. Because it's already, coming in to have you express yourself in a negative term. So when I say that would be the ego as opposed to the angelic voice, which is always constant and comes in with love. So if I wanted to, say if I just wanted to on the side, just throw some cards on, on a personal note and just ask the cards, will I get the job that I was interviewed for, and just see what comes up. And depending on what shows up in the spread, if it's, positive, it still could be your ego setting you in and say, oh, no, that's not how it's going to be. You won't get the job and so forth. Okay, that's what I'm trying to express to you. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Just know the difference of true messages as opposed to false messages that could be your ego tripping you up. All right, so the next card here for you, Cancer, underneath the Five of Cups and after the major arcana of the moon is the Ten of Swords. All right, so the Ten of Swords basically just represents a situation around us. Cancer is coming to an end. A new situation is about to open up. Now, the Five of Cups could also be representative of any Cancer who may be planning any types of future medical, surgical, inpatient, outpatient surgical procedures. Maybe you're sad, could be sad about that. If it's not you, maybe somebody that you know. The situation will usually painful, but once if you go under anesthesia and whatnot, or local anesthesia, general anesthesia, once that wears off, the pain will kick in. But the Ten of Swords always offers recovery and relief, so no worries there. All right, so on top of Temperance here for you, Cancer, we have the King of Swords. So there's something major, or, in terms of an action plan or decision plan that we're about to carry out this week. Now, oftentimes I always say when the King of Swords shows up here as opposed to the Queen of Swords, this is usually some sort of action or decision that is major, that could be coming across to other people. But don't worry about how other people respond or react to what you're about to do in terms of a decision or an action, because it usually comes across as being cold and somewhat calculating, but it's somewhat also necessary for you to do. All right, whatever that energy may be. Following the King of Swords on top of the Fearless, we have the King of Cups. Okay, there we go. Father of all love, nurturing, caring, supportive. So we have our own energies here to support us. He has a big heart. He's in a group of cards where I already said that if you receive it in your spread, then you could be getting that energy from family members, friends, romantic partners, could be co-workers, right? Paying attention to your intuition. Lesser degree of the moon, who's fully about helping you pay attention to your intuition, but the king also does this. This is male energies. So, of course, it would be for the male crabs that come along and see the video. Could be your husband, your boyfriend, your father, your brother. Could be grandfather. Very loving, caring individuals. And that would represent us in terms of our expression and how we express that energy towards the people that are closest to us. On top of the moon here for you, Cancer, we have the, look at that. Now, let me tell you something. The sun is the major arcana. All right. The sun, the major arcana, the most positive card in the tarot deck. It represents so many positive energies, right, Cancer? Let me start off by saying, if it's the yes answer to any question that you pose to yourself, it is the card of a success. And you can attach that success to anything that's going on for you. It is also a card of happiness. It's a card of joy. Feeling childlike. It's my health card, so it could be that some of us just go through the week having to deal with routine medical exams and checkups, any laboratory any laboratories that are ordered by the doctor, like blood work or x-rays, you'll be fine. You could be, of course, the cancer that I'm reading for that works in the health industry. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are could be a nurse. You could be just anybody who is in the position of working in the health industry in any capacity, really. What else could I say about the sun? The sun comes in to heal. The sun comes in also to bless. So healing when it comes to emotional, physical, mental, and then blessings that could be given to us throughout the week. All right, so keep that in mind. Some of this energy here, even though it's not a traveling card, I oftentimes pick up energy of traveling. So, if you're not the Cancer that I'm reading for that lives in Florida or California, maybe you're traveling or planning a future trip to those two areas or somewhere else. Cancer, warm, sunny, and welcoming. All right. Last card on the 10 of Swords for us, Cancer. In this read, we got the 3 of Swords. Okay. All right, so the 3 of Swords wants to show up here. And, of course, the 3 of Swords doesn't represent all the energies that I'm reading for every Cancer. It just means that someone will come along and then understand why the 3 of Swords is here, and they can place that energy to whatever is going on in their situation. Now, it may be linked to the 5 of Cups, to be honest with you. 3 of Swords doesn't always mean grief, heartache, separation. Could be conflicting energies that, occurs with romantic partners, but it doesn't indicate a split, separation. Friends, platonic, it could be other family members. Pet loss, pet gets out, gets lost, family is left grieving. Could be couples that I'm reading for that are together, but maybe there's some sort of distance that separates you. Third party in play when it comes to romance. I think I may have said that, but if I did, it's okay. All right, so we're going to throw a clarifier on this 3 of Swords now. We didn't receive any pentacles. So usually when pentacles show up here and there's 3 of Swords or any swords in general, it means that someone could be separating from employment, leaving one job to go to another. It could also indicate someone had to retire from their employment, and then the 3 of Swords will represent having to break those ties that you have formed throughout the years prior to your retirement. All right, so why is the 3 of Swords here for Cancer? Why did it show up for us? Why did the 3 of Swords show up here for Cancer? And this 3 of Swords here, the 3 of Wands is on the 3 of Swords in terms of clarifying. This could just be something as simple as having to, now, first of all, I associate and assign romance, long distance romance. So maybe there's a Cancer that I'm reading for and who's having some sort of difficulty, within a relationship and it's at a distance. Okay. Or there could be some sort of, if there's traveling involved, it could be some sort of separation from, because I really want to keep this simple. So it could be involving, when we travel and then our luggage is lost. That's the separation. Okay. So you could be traveling and then, oftentimes airports lose people's luggages. I mean, it happens on a daily basis. So it could be something as simple as that. This is why I say don't place too much emphasis on the 3 of Swords. Yes, it may mean something different for you than it would, be different for someone else. But, not to worry too much about that 3 of Swords. I feel that the message here, and that's just the message that I'm coming up with. It could be separation from any types of loss of luggage if you are traveling. And it may be just that. And with that being said, Cancer, well, this is what I have for you. Just always take what is going to work for you and leave the rest alone. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Always come back here to get more of these messages from me, Cancer. You guys, if you're celebrating this holiday, please be safe. Have some fun. And I'll talk to you the following week. Take care. Ciao.